So from what we can see here, there's a gang of men. They're quite old, but they look quite intimidating. They're speaking in a foreign language, so it might keep the audience under suspense about what they might be saying and what they're talking about. Now the lady looks, at the moment, she looks in distress. She looks young and at the moment she seems quite helpless. Seems like she's not going to be able to do anything. Looks like she's in trouble. And these men want to interrogate her, maybe kill her. So they might not be nice men. At the moment we still don't know what's going on because they're talking in a different language, so it constantly keeps us in suspense to what's going on. But you're obviously going to tell, I think they're going to torture her to find out something, but you can't tell. So obviously the man on the phone wants to speak to the young lady. He must know her. We don't know what he looks like yet. But now, as you can see, he's in a suit. He's wearing an ID badge. So he must be very important. They both must have very important jobs, maybe spies. And now, as you can see, she's defending herself. And she doesn't need to, she doesn't look helpless. She's no longer the heroine in this situation, which is what everyone perceived her to be before. Which is what normally the stereotypical characters are. So it's actually not the typical characters, because she's actually switched it around. She's no longer the heroine, she's actually the hero in this situation. And this is the typical characters of the Avengers. So the man on the left looks to be a newsreader. Seems like he could be in the future. He's got quite strange clothes on. He's got bright hair, and he looks happy. He looks like he's enjoying his life. Looks quite rich. The person being interviewed has quite an evil, stern look about him. Looks like he's not out to cause trouble, but that he doesn't look right. Now there's two girls here. There's the blonde girl. She looks helpless, looks quite young, scared. Obviously a main part in the play, as her first words, she's screaming, so she's quite dominant. And then the brunette girl, they both look quite poor anyway, and she looks strong, quite brave, looks after her little sister, must be older. She just wants the best. Obviously they're quite close characters because they stay with each other. And so this is the characters of the Hunger Games. This scene is an old man who's laying in bed. Looks quite innocent, doesn't seem to be causing any trouble. But he might, he's got that clock thing and makes him, maybe he's got troubling in his head. Maybe he's, we're waiting to see what happened next. as far as we can see, he just seems like a normal character. But he's obviously a big part of the scene because he's the first one on the scene, he's the only one in the scene. So he must be quite important. So now we can see there is another character. So we can't see his face, we can't see anything. The only thing we see are his hands, and we know that he's a white citizen, but we don't know what he's doing, we don't know if he's good, we don't know if he's bad. He seems to be like researching into something. Looks quite mysterious. And I think that's a good thing that we can't see his face, because then we're all wondering who it is, what he's got to do with the film. And now he's crossing out someone's face, so maybe that could suggest that he might be a murderer or someone that's, you know, a serial killer, or he's quite strange, slightly disturbed mentally, so something going on there. But we don't actually know who he is. We can just make assumptions. So this is the film Seven, and it's typical characters.